Manavak Ashuchiputra Atra Surupam Rupam Atasakaja Muri Purim Maturim Gorshvad Radha Kundamagirivanam Ahoradika Madhavasam Radhoyasya Prakita Kripaya Shri Guru Dhamanatos Purave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya He Mamadipyat Chami Sundara Tasman Mahapremarasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Bhakti-abheda Aparanalakhe Sundar Shikanda Shikar Smaraha Sumurli Madara Radhakara Sakumama Fikvanete Supriya Charana Ki Karin Guru Tavai Vasmi Najivami Trayabina Iti Vidyaya Devi Tam Nama First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers, thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Holy Master, my supremely worshipful spiritual Gurudev, Asmadev Paramarada Tama Guru Pada Pratma Nityalila Pravishno Vishnu Pada Stottara Satasri Rupanugavarya Srila Bhakti-vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Shriyangsi Bahubignani means when you're about to do something very auspicious, many obstacles. So when obstacles come, don't be discouraged, be encouraged. Be more enthusiastic. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Guru's Guru, to Srila Prabhupada, and to all the great spiritual masters in our unbroken line of Gurus going back thousands of years to Sri Krishna himself. And finally, I offer my pranam to all of you, my dear spiritual brothers and sisters, all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Putitanam Pavani Vaishnavi.
Gurudeva ki
Krishna Chandra Babu ki
Jai.
So, I am extremely delighted to have your darshan, to see all of you.
Any obstacles?
It's getting more auspicious. I'm so delighted to see all of you. Some of you I'm meeting I did not see since the festival we had last week. Some of you I did not see since the program here in Switzerland last year. Some of you I have not seen for perhaps 5 years. Some of you I did not see since your previous life. But by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, we have all come together today to make progress on the path of Bhakti. This path of Bhakti is all auspicious. Karma, Gyan, Yoga Sadhana, and all other paths which are devoid of love for the Supreme Lord. They are lame, they have no power, they cannot bring even their own result unless they're even mixed with the Bhakti. But Bhakti is completely independent. Bhakti does not depend on anything. Even if a person wants to take up the path of Gyan, the path of philosophical discrimination, then unless the heart has been purified first by performing the karma yoga without attachment to the result, they're actually not qualified for that. So some preconditions are there, some pre-qualifications that the heart has to be somewhat purified before one can walk on the path of Gyan yoga. But Bhakti is independent. It does not depend on anything. It does not even depend upon your purity of heart. Even a fallen person covered in anartha and ignorance and attachments, they can come and cry at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna and say, "Oh my Lord, I am your servant. Please bestow your mercy on me." And such persons, they take up the path of Bhakti. They may not last very long, maybe they'll go away. But they will come back. They will come back. Is it true? Does anyone have some experience with this? Yes, they will come back. Because you know that our great guru, Narada Muni, he told to Srila Vyasadeva, "Na vaijanu jatu katanchana vraden, mukunda sevanyavar anka sanskritin, smaran mukundangri upaguhanupana, vihatamits chenna rasagraho jana." He said, "Oh Vyas, why did you write about other things than Bhakti in the Vedas? This path of Bhakti is auspicious for everyone. Even if someone takes up the path of Bhakti, but due to some weakness of heart, due to some impurity or heavy karmas, they leave the path of Bhakti for some time. But Navaijanu jatu katantranavadin mukunda sevana anga sanskritim. That person does not move through the world, through samsara, through the cycle of karmas, like other people who have not taken up the path of Bhakti. They are not the same. Why? Because samsara is the world where we receive the reactions of our good karma and our bad karma. But once a person is taken to the path of Bhakti, then Sri Krishna, he takes charge of that person's life. And so their apparently difficult situations and pleasurable situations, they are not given by their karma. They're given by Krishna himself, therapeutically, as a therapeutic medicine, to help that person become humble and progress. And that person no longer is like others anymore, even if they're going to the cinema with their friends and they sit down in the cinema with their friends and their friends are munching on their popcorn.
And that the ex-devotee is sitting there looking and thinking, oh, this is so superficial. I'm really wasting my life. Hmm? You know, I was happy that time I was serving Krishna. Smaran mukundangi upaguhana. They remember that moment in their life where they embraced the lotus feet of Krishna fully from their heart, even if it was momentary and then it went away. But they can never forget that sanskar. Smaran mukundangi upaguhanam puna. Again, that means they come back and sometimes they go away again and they come a few times. And then what happens? Vihatam, it's chenna. Rasagrahojana. Vihatam, it's chenna. It's chenna means desiring. Vihatam, to not give up. They come back and they pray to Krishna. Oh Krishna, this time I don't want to leave your service. Let me not leave your service. I don't want to leave your service. What does it mean? It means that they finally became humble. Because before, when they came back to the path of bhakti, said, that's it. Now I am completely surrendered. You know? Pure devotee syndrome. Overinflated sense of self-worth. And that's why the ego had to be put in the pestle and a little bit more grinding to paste. And now he comes back without the ahankar, without the ego, with that, I am here to stay, I cannot fall down, I am beyond Maya. No, he comes back with tears in his eyes and praying to Krishna. Oh Krishna, please, I don't ever want to leave your lotus feet, but that power is not in my hands. That power is not with me. So then when the devotee becomes humble, then the strength of Krishna's mercy comes to him. Dinera adikadai kari bhagavan kulina panditya dhane para abhiman. Chaitanya Charitamrita said, Dinera adikadaya kari bhagavan. Bhagavan gives more mercy, more spiritual strength to those persons who are dhin. That means they think, I am worthless. I am insignificant. I am not better than others. Others are better than me. So Krishna gives mercy to that person. But kulina pandita dhanya para abhiman. Those who think, I am from a very aristocratic family. I have a high birth. Panditya, those who think, I am very learned in the scriptures. I am a great scholar of Sanskrit Vyakaran and Sahitya and literature and Darshan, Saddarshan, philosophy, history. And Dhanir, those who have wealth, and they think that it belongs to them. Nothing belongs to us. What to speak of anything belonging to us? Even us, we don't belong to us. Our soul belongs to Krishna. So, Kulina Pandita Dhane Bara Abhiman, anyone who identifies with this body and mind, who is the arrogant, thinking, I am from an elevated family, I am very learned, and I am the wealthy, then they become neglected. Krishna does not give them spiritual power, he does not give them spiritual strength, because they think, I have my own power and strength. And they are swatantra, independent. So this is most important. Independence. This is a symptom of arrogance. The symptom of pride, the symptom of arrogance is the swatantrata, independence. And what is the symptom of humility? Anugatya. Anugatya means to be under the guidance of our most revered and elevated and realized spiritual authorities. Gopi Batu Pada Kamlayo Das Anudasa. To be the servant of the servant of the servant. Ye me bhakta janapata, na me bhakta statrijana. If someone comes to Krishna and said, Krishna, I'm your devotee, I don't know you. But if someone comes to Krishna, I am the devotee of your devotee, then Krishna embraces the person. So to be in Anugatya, in the sadhu sangha, there is spiritual strength. And our vision becomes clear. And we can make progress on the straight path towards our Prayojan, the goal of life. If we don't come in Anugatya under the guidance of pure realized devotees and serve in a humble way, then for sure the wicked mind will take us in this direction, that direction, and this direction, everywhere. Where are we going? Where are we going? We can understand by the association that we keep. Yasya satsankati pungsam vatsya satadgunai sakula dhyatato dhimam sayuta eva sansrayat. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad has quoted this verse, and this verse was actually spoken by Hiranyakashipu. But anyway, we have to know how to take gold from a dirty place. It's the principle that counts. The principle that Hiranyakashipu is speaking applies to us in our spiritual life. And it's the main and most important principle. Yasya satsangati pungsam manivatsya satad gunai. Our chitta, our consciousness, is like a money, that spatika money, that is a crystal. If a crystal is placed on a red velvet cushion, it begins to sparkle with red lights. If it's placed on a blue velvet cushion, then this crystal will sparkle with blue lights. So in the same way, depending on the association that we keep, the people that we keep around us and we are integrated with whom we have loving and intellectual exchanges, with whom we work together, so their consciousness reflects onto us and we take on their characteristics. And even though we may have some ego that I am a very independent person, but actually we are the sum of all of our association. Purusha prakritisto hi. When the living entity is situated in prakriti, bhungte prakriti jangunan, he begins to enjoy the gunas. And then he goes up or down depending on karnam gunasangosya, the mode of nature of the persons he's associating with. It is not an avoidable situation. So Sakula Dyaita told Dhiman, Sayutam eva samsrayat. Hiranyakashipu was saying, if a person wants their dynasty to flourish, then they should associate with persons who are absorbed in the mood of that dynasty. Obviously, Hiranyakashipu had a problem. We had a problem child. Who was that problem child? Yes, Prahlad Maharaj. And the problem was, he wasn't associating with his own kind. He wasn't the dynasty of Asuras would not flourish because he was associating with different types of people. Those Hare Krishnas. Yeah. So, if we want our dynasty to flourish, then sajataya sheisdigde sadhusanga sutrobare. It's necessary to associate with those whose hearts are deeply immersed in the bhav of our sampradaya and in the mood that we are aspiring for. So, what is our dynasty? It is a Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga. Our dynasty, all of our acharyas, they are the Anugatjan, the followers of Srila Rupa Goswami Pas. Before I came here, I was asking Ishwari, so will there be some new people at the program? What should I speak? I said, there's no new people. Everyone here is very advanced. So don't speak any basic things, just unbolt the gate. So Do you all understand what is Rupanuga? All of our greater chariots, they follow Rupa Goswami. Perhaps you know, Prabhupada Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, before leaving this world, he gave his Upadeshavali, some of his final instructions. And there he said, we are not construction workers. We did not come to this world to construct temples, but rather carrying the shoes of our gurus and pure Vaishnavas on our heads. We are initiated into the mantra, Kirtaniya Sada Hari. And the only prayer is, Adadanastrinam Dante, Idam Yache Puna Puna, Srimad Rupa Padambojo Dulisham Janma Jamani. I take a straw between my teeth and beg again and again. Birth after birth after birth, may I become situated as a particle of dust on the feet of Srila Rupa Goswami. If you go to school, then at first you have to learn everything, mathematics and geography and history and sport and languages and biology, chemistry. But when you get into the higher education, then you have to specialize. So in the same way, those who have been practicing bhakti for some years and have an idea of the broad picture of devotional service, then they have to specialize. And that specialism in our tradition, in our dynasty, that specialization is to try to be the foot dust of Rupa Goswami, come closer to the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami. That is everything. That is everything. And we can measure the degree to which we are progressing towards our goal of life by the degree to which we have become immersed in the nectar coming from the lips of Srila Rupa Goswami. Because you know that Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadantika. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad is that person who was especially empowered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to reveal Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's innermost heart's desire. The Manobishtam. What is it? When Shama Sundar, Brajendra Nanda and Radharaman combined together with the Vrishabhanu Nandini and accepted her golden complexion and appeared in this world and began to, like a volcano, erupting with Prem and spread the holy name everywhere. What was going on in his heart? That was revealed by Rupa Goswami, not by anyone else. So to be Gaudiya means to make progress towards the heart of Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami himself said, Tishtan Brajai Tadanuragi Jananugami. The essence of all advice is one should engage one's full time, 24 hours a day, in very nicely hearing, chanting and remembering Krishna's name, form, qualities, associates, services and pastimes, and reside in Braj and be in the Anugatya under the guidance of those Vaishnavas who are deeply absorbed in the service of Radha and Krishna. You know all of these things. I'm just reminding myself. Otherwise, if I don't remind myself, I may go in another direction. You know, you can become so bewildered that you spend your time worrying about what is good and bad in this world. You can become absorbed in what is Dharma, true religious principles, and what is Adharma, and the constant war going on between them. This is a cosmic, the drama. In this universe, there is a cosmic drama. The Asuras and the Suras, they're always at war, and that also plays out through the senses of the living entities on this earth. So many devotees become absorbed in that. But our Raghunath Das Goswami, the foremost and prominent follower of Rupa Goswami, said, Na dharmam shutikanani ruktam kilakaru. Parajai Radha Krishna Prachara Paricharyam Hirtanu Sachisunam Nandi Swarapati Sutatve Gurbaram Mukunda Prastatve Smara Paramajasram Nanamana. Oh, my dear mind, my dear brother mind, let's be friends. I'm begging you again and again. Don't think about what is the good and bad of this world, the drama of this world. It is a shadow. It is the dream world. It is not the reality. It is not serious. It is only a distraction. It is Maya's cheating. Oh, look over there. And then you look and then your life is passed. Gone. And you did not use it to attain Krishna Prem. So, oh my dear mind, don't be concerned with the drama of the world. Dharma and adharma. Prajai Radha Krishna Prachara Paricharyam Hirtanu. Oh, just engage yourself in the loving service of Radha and Krishna. Paricharya seva. Bathing, dressing, decorating, combing the hair, fanning, feeding. These are all the very personal services to Radha and Krishna. Remember these always in your mind. And don't forget, Satisunam Nandishwarapati Sutatve Gurubaram. Someone may say, well, but you told me to remember Radha Krishna. What about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Oh, look, Sachisunam Nandishwarapati Sutatve Gurubaram. The son of Sachi is the son of Nanda Maharaj. If you're serving Krishna, then you have served Mahaprabhu. Accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as your bhajan's Shiksha Guru. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu day and night was absorbed in chanting and hearing and weeping in separation from Krishna, in the Gambhira, in Jagannath Puri, he manifests this pastime to say, follow me, I'm showing you how to do this. By my own example. Apani karimu bhakta bhava angi kari. Apani achari bhakti shikamuk sopar. I'll show you all how to follow this path of bhakti by my own example. So bowing down to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as your bhajan Shiksha Guru, focus fully on Radha and Krishna. And then you will have served Mahaprabhu, because the service to the Shiksha Guru is to follow his Shiksha. And what about Gurudev? Yes. Sachisunam Nandiswarapati Sutatve Guru Baram Mukunda Prashtatve. If you follow Mahaprabhu's example and be absorbed in the service of Radha and Krishna, you will see that your Guru Rupasaki, your spiritual master, in the form of a very sweet Kishori, will take your hand and bring you into the Kunj of Radha Krishna and engage you in their service. So the service of Guru is not separate also from the service of Radha and Krishna. It is one thing. So Raghunath Das Goswami, the preeminent Rupanuga, the first main follower of Srila Rupa Goswami, he gave the instructions how to be absorbed in Aikantik bhajan, one pointed focus in spiritual life. So what Rupa Goswami has given is unprecedented. There is no comparison. He wrote so many beautiful dramas. Sometimes a person may think that, yes, when devotees get together at a festival, sometimes they make some drama because it's fun. But devotees don't do drama because it's fun. Devotees make a drama because it is a seva to Krishna. And it's a very special seva to Krishna. And a seva to Vaishnavas. You see, in our Gaudiya line, the first drama was where? Where was the first drama? Yes, Chandrasekhar Bhavan, in the house of the Nimai Pandit's maternal uncle. Mahaprabhu himself told Buddhimanta Khan, you are wealthy, you should decorate the stage and arrange all the cosmetics and costumes for the drama. And there Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested in Chandrasekhar Bhavan, there for the first time, the Dan Kali, the tax pastime of Krishna, ambushing Radhika and the gopis at Dhiraj Govardhan, teasing them and trying to extort them, not for money, but for something else. And Mahaprabhu, he manifested that pastime there for the first time in this world. So Mahaprabhu was the first one in our Gaudiya line to do the performance of drama in this way. Later Mahaprabhu met with Rai Ramananda. And Ramananda Rai had written a drama, Jagannath Balab Natakam. Very beautiful drama. And he was so serious about it. He was training the Devadasis how to sing and dance and perform all the various mudras, hand gestures and movements of their eyebrows that is exactly synchronized with the bhavs in his poetry. Because he knows Lord Jagannath is Rasik. Yeah? And if they'll say one thing but the eyebrow will say something else, he will not be satisfied. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this world, then Kavi Karnapur, he composed the Chaitanya Chandrodaya Natakam, the 10-act play of the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? To save the life of Prataparudra Maharaj. Prataparudra Maharaj was dying in separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after he left. And so to save the life of Prataparudra Maharaj, Kavi Karnapur composed a beautiful drama of Gaura Lila. And in the meantime, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad was in Vrindavan, and he took the seed of the Dan Kelly of Mahaprabhu's drama and manifested the Dan fully in detail, the beautiful tax pastime, Dan Kelly comedy. And afterwards, Lalit Madhav and Vidagdha Madhav. So when Rupa Goswami came to Jagannath Puri, then Ramananda Rai went to visit him with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Siddhabakul. Rupa Goswami was kicked out, rejected, ostracized, excommunicated from the Brahmin society due to his association with the Muslim emperor. So he did not even try to go in the Jagannath temple, and Mahaprabhu gave him a place. You can stay with Haridas Thakur. He also cannot go near the temple. So my Gurudev, when he used to take us to that place, he said, this place is very dear to us, and especially to you Western devotees. Why? Because this is the place of the rejects. Those who have been rejected from the Brahminical society, those who are not allowed to go in the Jagannath temple, this is your place. And Haridas Thakur stayed here, and Rupa Goswami stayed here. So this is the best place to be. You are in good company in the reject group. Yes. So we have attachment to that group. Rupa Goswami is staying where Siddhabakul, the place of Srila Haridas Thakur. But because without taking shelter of the holy name, it is impossible to taste or relish what Rupa Goswami has given. Once on Brajmanda Parikrama, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur came to Radhakund. And then he said, for many days now we have been speaking on the Upanishads and different subjects. We have not spoken about Krishna's Leela. But today I will begin to describe the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. You should know that you cannot become perfect only by striving for anartha nivritti, becoming free from anarthas. But we also have to strive for artha pravritti. Make the positive effort to attain that which is our greatest treasure. And that greatest treasure is not to serve Krishna as a tattva, as the param tattva, advaya gyan paratattva, but as a Leela Bihari, the enjoyer of beautiful loving pastimes in Vrindavan with Srimati Radhika, to serve that divine couple. So he said, those who have been chanting very seriously 1 lakh Harinam for 15 years or more, then they should hear these pastimes. So, in that place of Siddhabakul, Ramananda Rai came with Mahaprabhu, and he was very interested because Mahaprabhu said, Rupa Goswami's poetry is really amazing. You have to hear it. So Ramananda Rai, being a poet and a playwright also himself, he was very eager, and he asked Rupa Goswami, what are you writing? Can you recite some verse? Vihara sura dirgika mamamana karendrasyaka vilochana chakore yosha damanda sita prabha urambara tasya chabarana charu tarabali Mayunnata manorata Yamalambi Saradika. Rupa Goswami recited this verse. I plan to speak on something, but I changed my mind. I'm just saying whatever comes. So Rupa Goswami said, Bihara Sura Dirgika Mama Mana Karindrasyaka. Krishna was very desperate to meet with Srimati Radhika. And so he disguised himself as a Brahmin. And he went to Suryakund to try to meet with Radhika. And when he saw her, he became stunned. What is this? Bihara Sura Dirgika. This beautiful Kishori, she is like a crystal clear lake in the heavenly planets where the king of elephants jumps in the water and sports there. So she is like a lake in the heavenly planets for the mad elephant of my mind. She is like the bright, immaculate rays of the autumn moon for the chikora bird of my eyes. She is like a necklace of jewels which are twinkling like stars on the edge of the sky of my chest. Now, because of my elevated desires, I have attained that very Radhika before. When a poet speaks, he never says what he wants to say. He says something else, and what he wants to say is hidden in the suggestion. I am blushing because I don't want to explain this verse. It's very, very elevated. When Sri Ramananda Rai heard this verse, then he could taste the dhwani. That means the waves of the suggestions in this verse. And he became stunned. At once he stood up and said, Kim kavyena kavestasya, kim kandena danushmata, parasya ridaye laganam, nagu nayati yatshira. Ramananda Rai said, oh, what is the use of the arrow of the archer or the poetry of the poet if it pierces the heart but does not cause the head to spin? Huh? You see, when the archer shoots his arrow, sometimes the Kshatriyas, they have so much, they're in such the enthusiasm for the battle, they have so much adrenaline that they just pull the arrow out and keep fighting. So what's the use? The arrow should be tipped with a poison that when it goes in the heart, then at once you become delirious. So in the same way, Ramananda Rai was saying, this poetry of Rupa Goswami is incredible. It is unprecedented, like nothing I've ever heard. When I hear it, it pierces me to the core of my heart, and now my head is spinning. 4,500 years before, Srila Vyasadeva, he wrote about that moment. He said, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Muyanti Yatsuraya. It means that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Tene Brahma, he imparted the Rasa Brahma into the heart of Adi Kavi, the Kavi, the poet of Adi Ras, Madhurya Rasa Rupa Goswami. Muyanti Yatsuraya. And when the surah, that means, and when the devotees like Ramananda Rai heard it, Muyanti, they became bewildered and they were fainting. So Rupa Goswami is such a person. When Mahaprabhu heard his poetry, he said, Madhura prasannahiya kavya salanka aichi kavita bhinu nahi rasera prachar. He said, oh, this poetry of Rupa Goswami is sweet. It is so pleasing to the heart. And every verse is decorated with many, many literary embellishments, so many ornamental figures of speech. unless one has such expertise in poetry, then aichi kabitva bino nahi rasara pracha. It's not possible to do the pracha preaching of bhakti rasa. So actually, rasa is not something for preaching to the public. Rasa is not something for preaching to the public. But when devotees they are practicing for some years, then they must hear. Even if they're, that rasa, when does one experience rasa? Nishta, ruchi, asakti. Then rati appears, the stage of bhav. And after bhav, then there's the experience of rasa. It's something very elevated. It's very high. It is aprakrita. It is beyond the mind. Nevertheless, come back to the verse at the beginning of the class. Na vaijanu jatu katantanavadem mukunda sevanivat anga sansisin smaran mukundangi upaguhanam puna vihatu itschana rasagra hojana. Even the person who comes to bhakti and they embrace Krishna's service as much as they can, but they go away. But then they come back and then they go away. Why do they come back again and again? Because they are rasa graha. Graha means haunted. Someone is bhutagrast. If someone is bhutagrast, means they're possessed, they're haunted by a ghost. So once a person has experienced the sweetness of devotional service, then after that, wherever they go, they cannot forget it because they are rasa graha. Rasa graha means they are haunted by rasa. It won't leave them. Oh. At night they try to sleep, but they cannot forget Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. They give away all their books. And then someone comes and gives one at their house by accident. It just won't go away. They become haunted by rasa. So someone can say, if the person is not so strong, how can they be haunted by rasa? So Srila Vishwanath Thakur said, yes, of course. Bhakti rasa is very high. It is after asakti. It is after rati. But still, from the very beginning of devotional life, parama ramba dinepi, from the very first day that you become serious about bhakti, from that very first moment, then there is the rasangsa, some small particle of rasa, though it is a prachanna rasangsa, a small particle of rasa which is somewhat covered. And that is what motivates us, that gives us the enthusiasm to sacrifice, to make sacrifices, to sacrifice everything in our life for some ethereal thing that no one can see. For a world which is a doxage. The common person thinks that devotees are mad. Why? They're sacrificing everything for something which is completely empirically not detectable. It is not amenable by any type of physical investigation at all. And you put all your eggs in one basket for that? Excuse me, vegans. So, how is it possible? Why? Because when we begin to engage in Krishna service, there is some nectar there, and we just cannot forget it. And it brings us back again and again. So though there is not rasa pracha, actual rasa pracha to the general people, but after persons have surrendered as much as they can, and they're practicing and chanting sincerely for some years, then they must hear some sweet pastimes of Sri Krishna from a realized devotee, because a realized devotee can present it in a very tasteful and beautiful way, in such a way that it will not be misunderstood. So you know that even Krishna, in his own pastimes, has dramas. Radhika herself writes dramas, and the Manjaris perform those dramas for the happiness of Krishna also. And Rupa Goswami, he wrote in Lalit Madhav that once, when Krishna was in Mathura, and in Mathura, he was feeling so much pain because he was remembering his childhood and youth in Vrindavan. and remembering the love of gopis and Radhika there. So his mind was so disturbed. At night he cannot sleep. He spends time alone on the roof of Vasudev Maharaj's palace, just looking at the Yamuna river and knowing that the waves are so high because this Yamuna is the tears of gopis who are crying in Vrindavan, and it's flowing there. So he's quite distracted and disturbed. So at that time, Yogamaya Purnamasi Devi, she thinks, what can I do to give some solace to Krishna? This is fascinating because Yogamaya Purnamasi, she's the Leela Shakti. And what does the Leela Shakti do? She manages the Leela. In other words, Yogamaya Purnamasi makes the problems. And then she thinks how to give the remedy to the problems. She makes the problem and solves them both. Because she's the Leela Shakti. So, realizing that Krishna, his heart is breaking. She thought, let me try to distract him and give him some solace. So she thought, what can I do? A drama. So first she prayed to Bharat Muni, because Bharat Muni has written the Natya Shastra. That is the main textbook on the art of drama, how to make the stage, different types of stages, how to organize the music, the dances, the introduction, the costumes, everything is there. And some description of Rasa Tattva as well. So she prayed to Bharat Muni first to get his blessings, and then Purnamasi Devi wrote a drama, and she gave it to Narad Muni, and sent Narad Muni to recruit some players for this drama. So Narad Muni has a disciple named Tumburu. Tumburu is the leader of the Gandharvas. They're very expert in singing and dancing. So he gave the script to Tumburu, and he employed so many Gandharvas and Gandharvis. Because actually in Vedic drama in recent times, there were no ladies in the drama. No human ladies in the drama. All the parts were played by men, even the female parts. But these are demigods and demigoddesses. It's a different thing. So he gave to the Gandharvas and Gandharvis. And they began to rehearse. So when they were ready, then Uddhav, he told Krishna, come with me. There's going to be a drama today. So come to the theater in the palace here. And he took Krishna up the stairs to a very beautiful balcony overlooking the stage. And Krishna, he was walking with his head down. He didn't have very high hopes. And he was crying, Ha Leelavati, Ha Chakoranayane, Ha Chandra Bimbanane, O Leelavati Radhika. Oh my Radhika, you are Leelavati, that means you are playful. But Leelavati doesn't only mean playful. Leelavati means that Radhika who, in separation from Krishna, she becomes so absorbed in him that she has the swabhavik anubhav, a reaction that she begins to imitate Krishna's Leela. And so that anubhav is called Leela. That Radhika in the madness of separation thinks, I am Krishna, and begins to imitate. She sits down in the kunj. Pashuti dishi dishi rasi bhavantam tadadhara madura madhuni pibantam tadadhara madura madhuni pibantam muhu avalokita Mandana Leela Madhuripu Ahamiti Bhavana Sheela Natahari Natahari Sirati Radha Basagri. Radhika sits in a kunj. She's so weak in separation she cannot get up. And then she looks and sees so many ornaments. But she's so absorbed in Krishna, she picks up a necklace of gunja berries. She picks up a peacock feather and puts it in her hair. And makes a kasturi tilak. She decorates herself like Krishna. And then when she looks and sees her own ornaments, she becomes confused. Whose ornaments are that? She cannot understand who am I. This is Lilavati. So Krishna in Mathura, his heart is breaking. Not breaking for himself. His heart is breaking, thinking, what is the condition of Radhika now in Vrindavan? How is she staying alive? Ha Lilavati. Ha Chakora Nayane. A Chakora cannot live without seeing the moon. How does she stay alive without seeing me? How did fate give this cruel result to Radhika? And as Krishna was crying, oh Radhe, Radhe, Madhu Mangal was leaning over the balcony. I can't see, where is she? I can't see her from here. Where is Radhika? You're calling her? Where is she? I don't see her. Then Krishna, he began to go into the post-traumatic stress disorder. You know, if you go through some moment in your life which is really traumatic, then what happens? You keep having flashbacks. So Krishna began to have a flashback. He said, I got onto the chariot. And the Krura took up the reins and he was about to make the horses go. And at that moment, Radhika was standing there and her heart was trembling. Why? Because she was thinking, all these years I was hiding my love for Krishna from the whole of society. I was hiding it for years. No one found out. But now if I just stand here and let him go, I may never see him again. So either my secret will come out or I will lose Krishna. What should I do? Her heart was trembling. And what did she choose? I should not lose Krishna. And Radhika ran and started to climb up onto the chariot to catch him and pull him down. And as she was climbing up, her Sakis ran after and caught her by the anchal, by the choli, by her cloth, and they were pulling her. And Krishna said, and I turned slightly and I looked at her. I looked at the tears in her eyes as she called my name. And the Sakis pulled her down from the chariot. And I'm so hard-hearted. I turned away and I left Vrindavan. And Krishna began to cry, alas, alas, why didn't I just grab her and take that beautiful girl with me? This is Krishna's life in Mathura. So then Uddhav tried to calm Krishna down and said, oh Dev, oh my lord, the Gandharvas, the actors are ready. They're ready to perform. The Krishna said, yes, so let them begin their singing and dancing. Not so enthused. So then, the director of the drama, here in Switzerland, it's usually Bhagavad. The director of the drama, the Sutradhara, came upon the stage and he said, now, by the order of Narad Muni, I have come from the Swargalok, from the Gandharvalok, and I gave up entertaining Indra there, and I have come here to earth to perform this drama. For what reason? To worship Krishna. Drama is worshipping Krishna. Now, don't think that only making the drama is worshipping Krishna, but now what you are doing is worshipping Krishna. Why? Because Harikatha and this Leela are not two different things. Abhinatvam nama namino. The name of Krishna and Krishna are different. So are non-different. So just as Krishna is non-different from his name, he's also non-different from his form, his qualities and pastimes also. So in Braj there's a saying, What ute pada ute. It means when the sadhu begins to speak Harikatha, then the curtain rises. You're not in a theater. But when we listen to Harikatha, the curtain of Maya rises. And beyond that curtain, then we can have the darshan of the pastimes of Krishna. The play begins. The Leela begins. This is Harikatha. It is Shrutakshita Bhakta. We don't see through the eyes. We see through the ears. Jigranti khana vivaraya shruti varta nita. Srimad Bhagavatam says, the pure devotees, they smell the fragrance of Krishna's lotus feet through their ears while listening to Harikatha. So it is not only like television. Television you can only see. This drama you can also smell and touch and taste through the ears, through Shravanam, through the hearing process. So then the director of the play, he said that, oh, all glories to the beautiful glance of Srimati Radhika, which causes lotus flowers to wilt because they're embarrassed, because her glance is more beautiful than lotus flowers, and which easily, in a moment, by the restlessness of her eyes, conquers Sri Krishna, who himself was garlanded by the goddess of victory. So Krishna is Ajit, he cannot be conquered by anyone. But Krishna becomes weak at the knees and he cannot walk in a straight line just by Radhika's glance. When Krishna heard this introduction, suddenly his ears pricked up and he was very interested in this drama. What is this drama called? The director said, this drama is called Radha Abhisar. That means the journey through the forest for a secret rendezvous with Srimati Radhika. So in this way, Krishna was completely absorbed and wanted to know what will happen next. So that time, one Gandharva, very handsome Gandharva, was dressed as Krishna. And he stepped onto the stage. Walking onto the stage. Oh, Vrindavan is so happy. Why? Because when two Sakis, if there are two friends, meet, if you have a friend, a girlfriend, two girls, they are friends, and they didn't see each other for 1 year. So then what happens when they meet? Oh, they become so happy. So in the same way, Vasant Ritu, the goddess of springtime, is meeting with her Saki, the Malaya Samir. That means the breeze carrying the fragrance of the sandalwood trees from the south arrives in Vrindavan only in the springtime. And they're like two Sakis meeting. They're so happy. So Krishna said, Vrindavan is so beautiful. If only I could meet with my beloved here, then I would be thrown into a tidal wave of ecstasy. If only I could meet with Radhika here. When the actor came upon the stage, then Madhu Mangal just burst out laughing. Ah, the Gandharvas have made a copy of my friend. Look, he's exactly like my friend Krishna. Of course, not this Krishna sitting next to him. Because this Krishna sitting next to him is Krishna in Mathura. He has no peacock feather, he has no pitambar, he has no gunjavatansa, earrings made of berries from the forest. You can't wear that stuff in the big city. That's for the farmers' boys from the dairy farm. Yeah? So this Krishna is his friend Krishna from Vrindavan. He's there on the stage. And Madhu Mangal is, he's a copy of my friend. What is that? When Krishna saw that Gandharva, he said, Udgirnadbhuta madhuri parimalasya bira leelasya me dvaitam hanta samikshayam muhu aso chitriyate charana chaita kelikutu alotaralitam satyam sakhi mamakam yasya praksha swarupatam vrajabadu sarupyam anvichati. The meaning is, look at this second form of myself who is overflowing with the sweetness of the fragrance of my Abhira Leela. You know, there are 4 castes and one of them are the Vaishyas, the Vaishya caste. The Vaishya caste is divided into so many castes, also subjatis, the Gurjaras and the Abhiras. So Nandagaon is the Abhira. Abhira Pali Patiputra Kanta. There's a whole genetic profile of the Abhiras in Gopal Champu. I won't go into that today. But Krishna is saying, seeing this person, I can smell the sweetness of my pastimes in Vrindavan. How is it possible? Because the absolute truth is akhanda, it is indivisible. So wherever the absolute truth, even just the name of Krishna appears, the fragrance of Krishna's Leela appears also. This copy of myself is overflowing with the fragrance of the sweetness of my pastime in Vrindavan. When I see him, and my heart is agitated, I become so excited, and I am longing to have a form exactly like Brajabadhu, a gopi, so that I can embrace him. What does it mean? Purusyoshik Kibara Stabana Jangam Sarvachika Chitta Karshaka Sakshat Manmatamadan. Krishna is so beautiful. Not only does he attract all women, he attracts all men. He attracts all animals even. Even non-moving creatures like trees are attracted to Krishna. He's so beautiful. So Krishna Ramaduri Krishna Upajoy Lob Samyak Aswaditi Nahe Rahim Monekshob. Krishna himself said that my sweetness is so intense that if I see my own sweetness, I become greedy to taste it. But Krishna can't taste his own sweetness from the position of being Krishna. He will have to have the form of a gopi. So when Krishna saw this Gandharva playing the role of himself in Vrindavan, in the theatre in Mathura, a greed came in Krishna's heart to have the bhav of the gopis and embrace Krishna. And it's very lucky that that moment happened. Because of that moment, Krishna in the next yuga appeared as Sachinandan Gohari Ki. That very Krishna appeared with the golden plexion of Radhika, and through Rupa Goswami, through his poetry and dramas, he is distributing Radha Dasyam, the eternal service of Radha and Krishna in the Nikunjas of Braja, to all the jivas of Kali Yuga. Us. How fortunate this moment is for us. This is like how bhakti begins? With bhakti lata beads, the seed of devotion. That is a basana, a deep impression in the heart that I want to serve Krishna. So at this very moment when Krishna in Mathura saw Krishna on the stage, his heart already completely melted in separation. And thinking of Radhika, at that moment, the bhakti lata beach, the deep sanskar, the deep impression of the desire to serve Krishna was nourished in his heart, and he appeared as Gauranga Mahaprabhu and gave mercy to us in his pastimes now in Kali Yuga. So, what can we say about Krishna's beauty? Vismapanam swasya cha sobhagade param param bhushna bhushnanga. Would have said, Krishna's human-like pastimes are so sweet that they even give amazement to Krishna's own expansions. What is the example? Dvijatmaja meyu vayo dridikshuno mayopaninam bhuvi dharma guptaye kalavatir navavane burasuran atwaya bhuyas tvarayeta. You know the story when there was a Brahmin, and every time his wife gave birth to a son, the baby disappeared. Right? You all know that story. So I won't go into, so you all know. So finally, Arjuna and Krishna, riding on Krishna's chariots, went through the coverings of the universe. And they came outside the covering, and there they saw Mahavishnu. And in a deep voice like thunder, big people, they have a deep voice. So Mahavishnu, he's so big, all the universe has come from the pores of his skin. So you can't imagine how deep his voice is. He said, he said, oh Krishna, oh Arjuna, actually I was the one who stole the children of that Brahmin. Why? Because I wanted to have your darshan. Even Mahavishnu cannot have the darshan of Dwarkadish Krishna. The Yoga Maya of Dwarka, who is that? Subhadra, there she is. So Subhadra is the Yoga Maya of Dwarka. She does not allow Mahavishnu to have darshan of Krishna in Dwarka. So he had to steal the boys to have darshan of Dwarkadish Krishna. So how great, how beautiful is Krishna? And that's Dwarkadish. Krishna in Vrindavan is more beautiful. Perhaps you know, then when Lord Brahma tried to steal the cowherd boys and the calves, then Krishna was worried, if I go home without my friends, my mother will give me a slap and twist my ear. So because he was scared of his mother, then he expanded himself and became all the calves and all the boys. And just he was playing along with that for a whole year. Every morning he's lying in bed. His mother would come, wake up, your friends are knocking on the door. But it was himself knocking on the door. Krishna, get up. It's time to go and take care of the calves. Krishna played along with this charade for a whole year to hide the fact that he'd lost his friends because he didn't want his mom to be angry with him. So at the end of the year, then Lord Brahma came back, and then each one of those boys and each one of those calves manifested a 4-armed Vishnu form. And Lord Brahma was looking at this endless waves of opulences. He could not even take it all in. Lord Brahma was amazed. But you know who else was amazed? Each one of those Vishnu forms, they were all looking at Krishna as a cowherd boy, sitting there with the peacock feather and some food in his left hand. You know, never eat with your left hand. Anyway, Krishna, he's dripping yogurt from his left hand and looking for his friends. And all the thousands of Vishnu forms, they're all looking at Krishna and they're amazed. Because Krishna in Braj is unlimitedly, indescribably beautiful. And now that very Krishna he's in Mathura, sitting on the balcony and looking at the Gandharva. And the Gandharva is manifesting his Vrindavan beauty, not as 5-year-old Krishna that Brahma saw, but as Gopavesha Venu Kara Nava Kishore Natabara, as young teenage romantic Krishna, Brajabara Nagara. And Krishna is seeing his own beauty there, and he cannot believe. How is it possible? How is it possible that this person on the stage is attracting me? The demigods can't attract Krishna. All the demigods get attracted by Krishna, but they can't attract Krishna. Krishna, how can this Gandharva attract me? Uddhav said to him, hey, O Dev, my lord, it is because of the devotion of Narad. You see? When a devotee organizes a drama, if it's done with devotion, then it is not that they're just actors on the stage, but the actual Leela manifests before the eyes of the devotees. So Krishna, though it was a Gandharva, by the devotion of Narad Muni, Krishna was actually seeing his own Leela. This is why drama is it's not just amusement or entertainment in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. It is the life and soul of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And it may be performed on a stage, or it may be Patrute Padavate. Just sit and discuss Harikatha, and the curtain of Maya will rise. Everyone can witness that drama. So then, Krishna, he looked at Krishna on the stage, and then he became bewildered. He said, who am I? Am I the Krishna on the stage performing in the drama? Or am I the Krishna in the balcony looking at the actor on the stage? I am confused. With unblinking eyes, I stare at this great wonder. What does it mean? In this drama, all the deep rasa tattva, all the fine and technical points of the theory of rasa that Rupa Goswami has given in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and Ujjvala Nilamani, they come alive and they illustrate it here. You see, Rupa Goswami has said, Eisham swapara sambandha niyamo nirnayo hi yaha sadaranyam tadevoktam bhavanam purva suribihi. The ancient authorities who are expert in rasa, they have described this thing. There is one niyam, a rule, and the rule is this, that if you are seeing some person, that person experiences his emotions and you experience your emotions. And you're aware of that. These are my emotions, those are his emotions. you can have empathy. It's possible to have empathy or sympathy for someone and have a sense of what they're going through. But still, you know, these are your emotions and your feelings of empathy for someone else, and those are his emotions. And he's also aware of that. But Krishna Leela breaks this rule. This niyamo nirnayo here, this rule is broken by Krishna Leela. How is it broken? In this way. Sadaranyam tadevoktam. Rasa has some achintya shakti called sadarani, sadarnikaran. And that is that rasa spreads out and it becomes generalized. And so the person who is soft-hearted and is absorbed in the drama, the very emotion, not of the actor, but the emotion of the person, even if that person was thousands of years ago, let us say millions of years ago, the father of Lord Ram heard that his son is leaving and going to the forest for 14 years. And then he cried, Ha Ram, Ha Ram, ha. And he died. His heart was broken and he died of separation. So one day there was a drama of the Ramayana and an actor was playing the role of Dashrath Maharaj. And when he got to this point, Ha Ram, Ha Ram, and he died, the audience were amazed. A great performance. But it wasn't a performance. He actually died. Why? Because he wasn't feeling his own emotion. The transcendental rasa from that Leela is not limited by time and not limited by space. Through time and space, the nectar of Krishna's Leela is transported and comes to the soft melted heart of the devotee. Shuddha sattva visheshatma prema suryangsu samyabhak. Just as the rays of the sun, the scientists say 96 million miles away, are coming through the window right now. Huh? So the rays of love from that very Leela come to the devotee in this world, and he experiences their emotion. Not a sympathy, not an empathy, but the actual transcendental aprakrita rasa is not limited by time and space, and it appears in the heart of the devotee. Nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam riddhisattva. The eternal bhavs of the eternal associates manifest in the heart of the devotees. So Krishna is experiencing that. He becomes confused. Is that me or this is me? Is that me looking on the stage? Or is that me on the stage looking at me? I don't know. Why? Because Aisha swapara sambandha. My bhav and another person's bhav. No, it becomes indistinguishable. This is the nature of Bhakti Rasa. So then, the Krishna on the stage, he thought, if I could just meet with Radhika, that would be wonderful. But how can I meet her without her Sakhis? Without the mercy of Lalita, it's impossible. It's impossible. So Krishna took his flute to his lips and he prayed, Oh Lalita Sakhi, you are like the eastern horizon. You are like the eastern horizon because you are the embodiment of all of my hopes. Do you know what appears on the eastern horizon? Bhanu, the sun. So just as Bhanu, the sun, appears on the eastern horizon, oh Lalita, make appear before me Vrishabhanu Nandini, the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj. So you are, and there's another reason why you are like the eastern horizon, oh Lalita. Why? Because I am like a chakravak bird. It is said that when the sun goes down at night, then the male chakravak bird and the female they become separated from each other and they cry all night. And then when the sun rises, then they find each other and they come together and they're happy. So I am like a chakravak bird and you are like the eastern horizon. The first reason. Now the second reason why you're like the eastern horizon, because when the sun rises, then I have been crying all night, then I will go and meet with my beloved Radhika. The eastern horizon is the one who arranges for my union with my beloved. And then Krishna, he took his flute to his lips, and that very emotion, he began to play with that emotion and call the Lalita Sakhi. So then Krishna is on the balcony and he tells to Uddhav and Madhu Mangal, how amazing. Narad is so empowered. How does he know how to express the feelings in my heart? So then Krishna, he played the flute, and then he could hear a sound of ankle bells coming. Oh, my favorite sound. I can hear the sound of ankle bells. So I am going to hide in this kunj, this cottage of Madhavi vines, jasmine flowers. So then Krishna, he hid in the kunj of Madhavi flowers. In the meantime, in some distance, now Shrimati Radhika is coming. Radhika is walking with Lalita Sakhi. And as they're walking on the bank of Jamuna, Radhika said, oh Sakhi, look, look. There is one female swan, Hansi, and she was entangled in some vines. But now a wave of the Jamuna came like this, and it moved the vines and moved the swan in such a way that she became free from the vines. And now she can go and meet with her lover. Then Lalita, she understood, oh, yes, yes, I think that this wave has great love for the Hamsa, the male swan. Because the male swan has untangled the female swan from the vines and he's carrying her to her beloved. So yes, swan, go, Hamsi, Hamsi, go to your lover, go to your lover. What is this? Here the swan, the female swan means Radhika. Entangled in the vines means, what does entangled mean? If your hair gets all entangled, what is it called? Jata. So entangled means Jotila. Radhika was always entangled by the intrigues of Jotila, like this. But now there's one wave of love. Who is the wave of love? That is Lalita herself. Lalita herself has unentangled Radhika from the grip of Jotila and is carrying her to go to meet with her lover. But actually, Radhika is talking about herself, about Krishna, about Jotila and Lalita, but she's speaking. She's not mentioning those things. She has to speak about swans and vines and waves. And Lalita also have to speak about waves and swans and vines. Why? Because this is Abhisakata. You know? Sakhi kana mama paramasurita jugala premera guru. The Sakhis of Radhika, Lalita and Vishaka and others, they are our gurus in the seva, Yugal seva, how to serve Radhika. If you want to do the service of taking Radhika to meet with Krishna, you cannot talk about it. You can talk about it, but you have to disguise. You have to use so many metaphors and similes and talk about other things in a way that Radhika can understand. So this is the nature of Abhisakata. When two Sakhis are going, or they are bringing Radhika to meet with Krishna, they talk because the Sakhis can't help it. If two Sakhis get together, they cannot hide their feelings from each other. They must speak. But at the same time, what if someone overhears them? So everything they say has to be hidden. Paraksham macha priyam. Everything has to be paraksham, hidden, in case someone will overhear, and then they'll go and report the news to someone, like Jotila or Abhimanyu. And then they'll get caught. So, as a precaution, so no outsiders will hear, all the conversation has to be in metaphors. So in the meantime, Krishna, he's hiding in the Madhavi Kunj from quite far away. Radhika and Lalita are coming. Radhika said, oh Lalita, did my grandmother Mukara see us leaving? Lalita said, yes, not only Mukara saw us leaving, but Jotila saw us leaving as well. At that time, Mukara is also in the audience because she went to Mathura also. She's also there in Mathura with Krishna. And when Mukara heard Radhika and Lalita complaining about her, she began to cry. Oh Radhika. She got up And actually, she did not even think it was a Gandharvi, an actress on the stage. She thought it was Radhika herself. So Mukra got up and, oh, Radhika, you're alive. So then Purnamasi had to grab Mukra and make, sit down. It's not Radhika. It's a Gandharvi. It's just a Gandharvi actress. She said, no, I think that she must have come from the Suryalok. She's back. No, I assure you, it's a Gandharvi actress. Please sit down. So then she was crying. In Vrindavan, I made so many problems for Radhika. I stopped her from meeting with Krishna so many times. Alas. Then Madhu Mangal said to Mukra, oh, why are you showing this false love now? I remember if I would go even anywhere near your garden gate, you used to bark at me like a dog. Like a kukuri. I don't want to say what that means in English. You used to bark at me like a kukuri. And then she said, look, it was not my fault, it was Purnamasi's fault. Because she kept hidden from me the secret of Radha Krishna. What is the secret of Radha Krishna? Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ladini Shakti Rasmat. Ekatmanavapi Bhuvi Pura Dehabit. Radha Krishna are one soul. But they have two bodies for the sake of their lila. So Purnamasi had hidden this from Mukra in Braja. But so she said, don't blame Madhu Mangal, please forgive me, it was not my fault. I did not know. So then Radhika said to Lalita, oh Lalita, if Jyotila and Mukara saw us leaving, what's the remedy? They may follow us. So Lalita said, don't worry. We only go on the path a certain distance in this direction, and then we change direction. And then we'll go through the dense forest of Kadamba trees. They will not be able to see us. So just walk slowly now on this path, and then run quickly into the forest with me. Radhika began to run, and as she was running, then her ankle bells, her nupur began to jingle. Radhika said, oh Lalita, why did you make me dress up with these ankle bells? They're traitors. These ankle bells are the pisuna. Pisuna means a gossip. They're like gossipy persons who always complain to others, and if you do any transgression, they reveal that transgression. So Radhika said, these ankle bells are like pisuna. They're like gossipy neighbors, and they're going to be traitors to me. Why did you make me dress in these? Lalita said, look, Jyotila is very cunning. If I were sneaking you away to meet with Krishna, then if you weren't wearing ankle bells, she would think that I'm trying to take you somewhere secretly. So I put these ankle bells on, so she knows that wherever you go, there's an alarm ringing, and people will know where you're going. It's reverse psychology. Because Jyotila is very smart. So then Radhika said, also, oh, all right. Then she was quickly running into the dense Kadamba forest along the bank of the Jamuna. As Radhika was going along the bank of Jamuna, then Jyotila came out from the house. Now, where did my daughter-in-law go? And she was looking here and there. And do you know what's very merciful in Vrindavan? The dust of Vrindavan. And she looked down, and the dust of Vrindavan was merciful to Jyotila and gave her the darshan of Radhika's footprints. Aha! These are my daughter-in-law's footprints. I can see very distinctly. Radhika has 19 symbols on her feet, and I see very distinctly the sign of the earring on Radhika's foot. And she began to follow the footprints. In this way, she was following for some time. At that time, now Radhika and Lalita are walking through the forest. They're very calm. They think that no one could be following them. They were clever. They did all the reverse psychology. So they're relaxed now, and they're on their way to meet with Krishna. They have no idea that lurking behind somewhere in the forest, somewhere back, that she can't see them yet, but on the trail is Jyotila. So they're very relaxed now. Radhika said, oh Lalita, last night I had a dream. I had a very wonderful dream. In my dream, I saw you, and you were in the forest of Vrindavan, and there was one mad elephant, and the elephant came up and grabbed you by the hand. And you were trying to get away. But then you were carrying 2 bunches of flowers. And then that elephant grabbed you by the left bunch of flowers. The left bunch of flowers, not the right. Huh? This is not just mean bunch of flowers, but Radhika's speaking about her dream in this way. So then Lalita said, oh, that's a wonderful dream. But I think that was in the dream. That dream was not me in the dream. That person who was caught by the elephant was not me. It was you. I know, because when I was decorating you, I was painting pictures on your chest today. As I was decorating you, you fell asleep. And then while you were sleeping, then I saw distinct signs that you must be having this dream. Why? Because as she was decorating Radhika, Radhika was experiencing meeting with Krishna in the dream, and the signs of Krishna's touch on Radhika's body were appearing there as Lalita was decorating her. So she said, I think that this dream was not me, it was you. So you tell me. I think you have not told me the whole story. You've only told me half of the story. Why don't you tell me what happened next? I think what happened next is not something for the presence of 3 persons. It's only for 2 persons, not 3 persons. So tell me, did your Dirga Sutrika leave or stay or leave? So the 3rd person means Radhika's waist belt. Did your Dirga Sutrika stay or leave? The 3rd person. Then Radhika knitted her eyebrows and looked at Lalita and said, no, that never happened. I never had such a dream. And inside she was thinking, how is my Saki so cunning that she knows even about my dreams? How is that possible? So in this way, Radhika and Lalita, they're walking along and having very pleasant conversation between Sakis. Far away in the distance, Jyotila is coming along the bank of the Jamuna, and she saw some swans. And the swans that were swimming on the Jamuna suddenly swam to the bank and entered into the forest. Seeing that from far away, Jyotila said, aha! You see? Because the tinkling of Radhika's ankle bells is like the warbling. Aneka mantanada manjulu purara vasala samaja raja hansa vansani kwananti. It's like the mating call of Rajahansa swans. And so the swans were coming from the Jamuna and going into the forest. They never do that. But if they hear a mating call, then they will do it. So then Jyotila figured out, oh, my daughter-in-law must be there. The swans must have been attracted by the sound of her ankle bells. Huh? When Jyotila said this, then Uddhav, he's in the royal box with Krishna. He said, "Pah, this Jyotila is very intelligent." Uddhav was appreciating this. You know why? Vrishni nam pravaro mantri Krishnasya daita saka. Shisho brihaspati sakshar Uddhavo buddhi sattama. Uddhav has a buddhi sattva. He has very pure intelligence. And he's Krishna's mantri. He is a personal advisor. So he's very diplomatic. He can read the room. He can understand what's going on in the whole politics of the world. So he's now Uddhav, seeing how clever Jyotila is, he was amazed. This old woman is so smart. This is Brajalila. So then, Lalita brought Radhika to the very cottage of Madhavi vines, of jasmine vines where Krishna was waiting. And then Sri Krishna came out from the kunj and he saw Radhika. Actually, before the Krishna on the stage saw that Radhika, when Krishna in the royal box saw Radhika, he got up and he ran to get Radhika. And Uddhav had to check him and my lord, please sit down. It's not Radhika, it's a Gandharvi. So not only Mukara became mad and wanted to run on the stage, but Krishna also wanted to run, and Uddhav made him sit down. But now the Krishna on the stage saw that Radhika had come. At that time, Krishna said, Hey to me hridayotsavasya vividak hamam kramad vadatam. He said, oh, this is the Krishna on the stage. He's looking at Radhika and he said, if in my life there are so many moments and there are so many situations which are Hridi Mahotsava, which are a festival of joy for my heart. And if I take all of those joyful moments in my life, past, present, and future, and I put them on a scale and I stack them up on a scale, and at every moment they're growing. But on the other side of the scale, I only put the joy that I feel when my desire to go on the Abhisa and meet with Radhika, when that desire just touches the outer portion of my heart, then, oh, that joy is incomparable. It outweighs all the other festivals of joy in my life put together. Try to understand the happiness Krishna feels when he meets with Radhika. You know, when Radhika left the Rasalila, then Krishna also, he left the Rasalila. It is not that Krishna experiences joy from the love of Radhika more than the love of any gopi, but rather the love of all of the gopis together cannot give him the joy that only the love of Radhika can give to Krishna. So he expressed this intense joy when he looked at Srimati Radhika. And also, on the other side, Radhika herself, when she sees Krishna, she began to pray, Hey Bhagavan, Ananda Parjanya. She's not praying to Krishna, not that Bhagavan. Oh, respectable Ananda Parjanya. What does that mean? It means the rain cloud of joy. Radhika prayed, my two eyes are like chakora birds who only live by moonlight. And these two chakora birds of my eyes did hard austerities, very hard tapasya, to drink the rays from the moon of Krishna's face. But if the moon will rise and the chakora birds look towards the moon, but then a big rain cloud will come and cover the moon, then the chakora birds cannot be satisfied. So Radhika is praying to what? The rain cloud of her own joy. It's a little bit difficult to understand. These are the symptoms of Rudra Mahabhav. You know, Ramananda Rai, in his Jagannath Balabnatakam, he said, Yada yato daivam maduripu aso lochana patam tadasmakam cheto madana hatakena ritamabut. Radhika was saying to her Saki, in my life, my eyes never drank the beauty of Krishna. Why? Because every time I came before him, two enemies suddenly appeared. Ananda and Madan, Cupid and Ananda, joy. And they stole my consciousness. And so I never got to fill my eyes with Krishna's beauty. So these are the symptoms of when Anurag turns into Mahabhav. That is for Radhika, the joy of seeing Krishna is so intense. Ananda comes and steals her consciousness. She just faints on the spot. She just faints on the spot with joy. She cannot contain it. The joy is so intense. And this is why Lalita Saki, when she brings Radhika to meet with Krishna, she'll say, this Krishna is a durat, he's a cheetah, he's a rascal. Don't be submissive to him. Why? She doesn't say that because Krishna's necessarily done anything wrong. She says it to do rasantara. The rasa is the joy of meeting with Krishna and it's making her faint. So then Lalita has to make up some criticism of Krishna to change the mood to anger so she won't faint. Because if Radhika will just melt like butter in the arms of Krishna, then what will be the difference between Radhika and Chandravali? Yeah? Radhika Saki, how will you maintain your prestige if you become like butter in his hands like Chandravali does? Maintain your prestige and become hard, become tough. You have to play hard to get. But at this moment, as Radhika just sees Krishna, then the wave of Ananda is coming. And Lalita is also overjoyed. She doesn't say anything. This means Krishna must have been on his best behavior. So Radhika's just begging, oh Ananda Parjanya, oh cloud of joy, which covers me and doesn't allow me, my eyes, to drink the beauty of Krishna's face. Please be merciful to me and let me drink a few drops of his beauty. And as she prayed like this, then Prem is uncontrollable. The Prem Shakti was very merciful to Radhika, and her mood changed completely. And instead of Lalita chastising Radhika, Radhika began to chastise Lalita. Oh, yes, very good, very good. I'm an honest girl from a good family. Why did you bring me here? And this person is here. Why did you cheat me? And Radhika starts to get on the case of Lalita as if she was just going for a walk with her friend, and her friend had tricked her to bring her into great danger, to bring her into a morally hazardous situation, being alone with a very beautiful boy in the forest when her husband is far away visiting another village. So Radhika, she began to chastise Lalita, and she went foo through her nose and covered her face and began to cry. Krishna is watching. Krishna never knows what he's going to get. Radhika is so volatile, he's never sure what he's going to get. And even if he gets one thing, the next moment it can be something else, and the next moment it can be something else. Roshena pranayena chakalita di radha bheda-abheda-tattva. Once Krishna said, I think that Radhika has so much love and anger mixed together in her heart that she has split her personality and there are two Radhikas in one body. And she keeps changing her mind all the time. When Krishna saw the beauty of Radhika, then he cannot believe his eyes. Why? Because it's the nature of Anurag. 7 o'clock. Can I keep going?
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Don't mind. Can I keep going?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
I want your, I'm your servant, so without your permission, I cannot do anything. Huh? Krishna saw Radhika. And at once, Dhavatyakrametam muhur sravanyosi manam akshnodhayi poskalam harata kucho baliguna abadya madhyam tata. Poetry is coming from the heart of Krishna in a moment. You see, you cannot preach rasa without poetry. This is Mahaprabhu's words. Aichi kavitva binu nahi rasara prachar. Because love makes you poetic. So the highest love makes you the highest poet. Understand? Like an ordinary person is just bored with life, then they speak in prose. They're very prosaic. Hello, how are you? I'm fine. It was raining earlier, wasn't it? They just have like a boring prosaic conversation. Huh? But love isn't like that. As soon as the heart's moved by love, then it's, oh, may I compare thee to a summer's day? Yeah, and that's what love does to a heart. It turns one into... So because Krishna is so influenced by the love of Srimati Radhika, by her Mahabhav is emanating from her. It makes Krishna tremble. It makes his hair stand on end. Even all the trees, the flowers are blossoming all around them, just by the waves of her love affecting the entire forest. And so Krishna cannot check it. In this metaphor, Krishna is describing the metaphor of a king attacking a city-state. There is a city-state and there is a king there. He's got his soldiers, he's got his population, he's got his treasure, but now another king has come. So what does the king do? The first thing he does is he makes his soldiers do repeated border incursions, right? Some teams of soldiers, they cross the border and they attack and then they retreat again. And they keep doing that again and again. Why? Because you have to test what are the strengths and weaknesses of the fortifications. So in this way, Radharani's eyes are again and again attacking the borders of her ears. That means Radhika's eyes are so big, they reach almost down to her ears. And if someone is very calm, then their eyes are steady. But if someone is in love and there are many waves of emotion in the heart, it makes the eyes flit backwards and forwards very quickly, like a wagtail bird. Kanjan Pakshi. So because Radhika is so much in love, her eyes are looking here and there very quickly. Krishna said, just see. The eyes of Radhika are like the soldiers attacking. They're crossing the border again and again of her ears. And then what do? Then the soldiers, they enter the city and they plunder the wealth. They plunder wealth and then they tie up the prisoners. So then Krishna saw, oh, it seems that the breast of Radhika has plundered the wealth of her waist. Why? Because she was a girl and now she became Kishori. Via Sandhi, she's entered into her adolescence. So it seems that, oh, just yesterday I saw her and little girl is little plump here. But now her chest has stolen all the wealth of her waist. And so the breast has grown and the waist has become thin and is bound up. The prisoners have to be tied up. So she has 3 lines on her stomach. So the waist has been bound up and the breast has stolen all the wealth of the waist. And also, just see, when a girl is young, then they're just running around here and there all the time. And the eyes are steady. The eyebrows are steady. But now she became a teenage. Now her feet have become still and her eyebrows are moving. So just like the soldiers come into the city and they raise their bows and say, stop! And then all the prisoners, they don't move. So her eyebrows are moving and they've stopped her feet from moving. So in this way, see, Krishna by poetry is describing how Radhika, it seems like just yesterday she was a little girl and now she became Navakishori. Now actually, last week and the week before, Krishna saw that Radhika was a Navakishori. But sadhanu bhutam api yaha kurvam nava navam priyam. It is the nature of anurag that the love is newer and newer every moment and the object of love seems newer and newer every moment. So though Krishna had seen that Radhika had gone from childhood to adolescence, to Kishori, but now he's seeing her, he feels as if he's never seen her before. And so he's speaking in this way. So in this way, there are so many waves of Radha Krishna now face to face. They're becoming stunned. They're overwhelmed with Prem. And Lalita Sakhi says, oh Radhika, now go to your beloved. Meet with your beloved. The Sakhis are the first wave in love. It's the Sakhis who bring Radhika to Krishna. Then Radhika becomes a little bit submissive to Krishna. Then Krishna does something naughty. And then all the Sakhis complain and protest to each other about Krishna's bad behavior. But that's exactly what they wanted him to do. So in this way, all the pastimes of the Sakhis are so crooked. Aheri premna svabhava kutilaktvat. The Prem moves like a snake, very crooked and full of deception. So now Lalita hands Radhika over to Krishna and Jayo Jayo Radha. No. Suddenly, a voice came out of nowhere. Oh, my daughter-in-law! Jyotila arrived on the scene. Now my son Abhimanyu has gone far away. Lalita, why did you bring my daughter-in-law to this place to meet with this boy? Lalita said, oh, now I'm in big trouble. What can I say? So then Lalita made up a lie because she knows that Jyotila is very greedy. So if she can make up a story that will entail Jyotila becoming rich, then she might become favorable to the story. She wants to believe it. So then Lalita said, oh, the daughter of Gargacharya, the Brahmin girl Gargi, she told me, if I take Radhika into the forest and worship the sun god with the Madhavi flowers in this kunj, then the sun god will bless you with 10 million cows. And she was hoping this will work on Jyotila. So then Jyotila calmed down a little bit. And she said, look, Lalita, come here. My dear darling daughter, you're just like my daughter. Listen to me. I've heard this from my son, Abhimanyu, that your friend Radhika is always telling him that you're trying to spoil her character and you're doing pralobhana, you're enticing her, and you're always enticing her and trying to take her out of the house to meet with Krishna. So she's always, I know that you're innocent and you never do that. But I heard from my son that Radhika is always defaming you in this way. How could you possibly forgive her. Just find it in your heart, the feeling that you can forgive her. Does Jutila want Lalita to forgive Radhika? No, she's saying it. Oh, find it in your heart to forgive my daughter for making all these false accusations against you. No, she's doing in politics. There's Hama, Dhamma, Bhed, Dhamma, and Danda. These are the different types of politics. So one of them is, if there's a team, you have to make division. You have to sow division between them, that they start to argue with each other. So Jutila is trying to sow division between Lalita and Shrimati Radhika. When Lalita Saki heard these words of Jutila, she was amazed. Just look how clever and cunning this old lady is. Don't think that Jutila is just foolish and a pushover. Jutila has very, very sharp intelligence. She's so expert. She knows how to make up a story to put you in a trap so you reveal what you don't want to reveal. So then, Krishna, you know what Krishna said? Because he was just about to meet with Radhika and now everything's spoiled. Then Krishna said, Srayangsi Bahu Bignani, when you're about to do something auspicious, then obstacles always come. Now this Jutila has come. I was about to relish the beauty of Radhika, who is like the moon. But now Jutila came like Rahu and made an eclipse. And now I've lost my chance. What can I do? Jutila said, hey, you Bhujanga, don't go anywhere near my daughter. I know that you were always chasing after the young girls of Braja. Who have you come here to bite? Bhujanga has a double meaning. The Bhu means the earth, and whose limbs move on the earth is a snake. So you are Bhujanga, you are a snake, and Bhujanga means also a man who is meeting here and there with many women, a paramour. So when she criticized me, you are a Bhujanga, who have you come here to bite? Then Krishna said, I came here to bite you. Goes to Pisachi, you are the witch of the village of Braja. Krishna is up in the audience, and when he sees Krishna on the stage having an argument with Jutila, Krishna in the audience, he's laughing. He said, oh, when the great sages like the 4 Kumaras, the Nava Yogendras, the 12 Mahajans, they compose beautiful poems and they pray to me. Those prayers don't give me as much happiness as this old woman saying, you Bhujanga. Brinda said, oh elderly lady, you know that Krishna is like the moon who feeds the Chakora birds of all dharma, all religious principles. So why are you criticizing him? Jatila said, yes, I know about his religious principles. He goes into the forest at night and he catches the young girls of Braja. And then, Om Vishnave Namaha, Om Vishnave Namaha. She does not even want to think about the behavior of Krishna. So to purify herself, she said, Om Vishnave Namaha. So then Jatila said, we should not stay here any longer. Come. And she took Lalita and she took Radhika and back to her home. Jatila, her wedding. Where did they go to? Yavat. Yes, Yavat Gaon. Not so very far from the Terakadamba, and then from there to Nandagaon. Not so far away. Have you all been to Yavat? Yes. If you haven't been, or if you have been, please come to Kartik and spend the whole month of Kartik with us in our Braj retreat and Braj Mandal Parikrama. And we'll also go to Yavat and hear these kathas there. So, who's going to Kartik this year? Yeah? Krishna willing. Yes. Oh, please come to Kartik Parikrama. If you didn't make a plan to go because you have something else to do, cancel all your plans. Just come to Vrindavan. Life is so short. Life is so short. Don't lose this chance. So then, they left, and then Krishna is sitting there with Brinda Devi. And now Krishna is disappointed. So Brinda Devi, you know, she's also Yogamaya, an aspect of Yoga. Purnamasi is the Yogamaya of all Leelas. in Dasa Sakya Vatsalya and Madhurya. But because she's an older lady, she cannot be close to Radha Krishna's Leela, very so close, they'll become shy. So Yogamaya Purnamasi has a prakash, an expansion. And she's here today with us, Brinda Devi. So Brinda Devi is the expansion of Yogamaya, especially for the pastimes of Madhurya Rasa. So then Brinda Devi said, Krishna, you don't worry about anything. I will give a message to one parrot, and I'll send this parrot with a message to Lalita, and Lalita will tell Vishaka, and then Vishaka will come and catch you and bring you, and you'll have a chance to meet with Radhika. So you don't worry. So then Krishna, he was wandering here and there, and slowly, he came towards Yavat. When he was coming towards Yavat, he saw Abhimanyu was coming. And Abhimanyu was looking, oh, where is my mother? Where is my mother? I was going on a long journey, but I didn't bring enough money. I saw some nice cows, and I realized I don't have enough money. So just by chance, now Abhimanyu he'd set off on a journey, but he came back because he's asking his money for some gold to buy some cows. So he's looking for his mother. In the meantime, Jatila is returning from the bank of Jamuna. And she sees Abhimanyu coming back. And she says, aha! In the forest, I heard one parrot. One Sarika, a female parrot, was speaking to a male parrot. And the Sarika was saying, oh, you know that Krishna, now Abhimanyu has gone away on a long journey. He won't be back for some time. But Krishna, in order to see Radhika, is going to dress up in disguise as Abhimanyu. And he'll go and meet with Radhika right under Jatila's nose. So Jatila overheard the parrots talking in this way. And as she came back towards her home, she could see Krishna was coming. Of course, she's thinking, my son is very far away. She doesn't know he didn't have enough money and he was coming back to get some extra gold coins from Jatila. So then Jatila saw, there's Krishna in disguise. I'm not going to catch him because he may get away and no one will believe me. I have to collect together a judge and jury. Right? I have to collect the Pramanika Jan, some persons from the village whose testimony cannot be refuted. It cannot be denied. So then Jatila quickly ran and she bought Gargi and Kundalata and Barunda. Barunda is the Saki of Jatila. Very good Saki. Jatila's best friend. Do you know Barunda? Chandravali's mother-in-law. Jatila is Radhika's mother-in-law and Barunda is Chandravali, and they're best friends. So I'm going to go and get Barunda and Kundalata. And the Gargi is a Brahmin, the daughter of Gargacharya. These are Brahmanic persons, and I'll bring them back here. So then, Abhimanyu, he came home, and he's looking, oh, where is my brother? Where is my mother? Suddenly, Jatila entered and said to Kundalata, oh, Kundalata, just see what a well-behaved friend that you have here. Because Kundalata is Krishna's cousin. So Kundalata, most of the time, you have to be careful with Kundalata actually. She's a Saki of Radhika, but she leans towards Krishna. So sometimes she's a double agent for Krishna. So just bear that in mind. Next time you see Kundalata. Okay? I mean, we trust her and everything, but there's a small print. So then Kundalata said, oh no, now Jatila has caught Krishna. What will I do? What will I do? Then Barunda, the mother-in-law of the Chandravali, she said to Gargi, oh, very elevated Brahmin girl Gargi, look, your Krishna is here, disguised as Abhimanyu, and Jatila is going to catch him. So then Jatila said to her team of witnesses, now you all know the truth. I was making complaints to you before, but you didn't believe me. But now here's the truth. In my own home, I have caught Krishna red-handed. And then Jatila turned to Krishna and said, oh, Gokul Kishori Lampat. That means you debauch, you try to spoil the good character of all the young girls in Gokul. Oh, Paragar Luntan. You are the person who steals from the houses of others. Now I have caught you. I know who you are. I know you are not Abhimanyu. You are not my son. So then Abhimanyu was scared to death. What happened to my mother? And Abhimanyu ran away, but Jutila was running after him. Quickly she caught him by the cloth. How will you get away? You can't get away from me. Abhimanyu was saying, hi. Alas, my mother has become insane and she's embarrassing me. She's embarrassing me in front of all the elevated, respected persons in the village. So then Jutila said, you thief, I've caught you now. You cannot get away from me. And then Abhimanyu turned to the Chandravali's mother-in-law. I said, oh, Parunda, please help me. My mother has become bhutagrast. My mother has become possessed by a ghost. She's become completely insane. So then Gargi and the Barunda and the Kundalata and everyone there, they recognize this is actually your son, Abhimanyu. Huh? So then Jyotila, Hardik, fire on me, Pramada. What? How could I make such a mistake? How did my son has gone very far away? What is he doing here? And she was beating her chest and completely embarrassed, and she ran away and hid inside the house. Then Burunda, she gave some consolation to Abhimanyu, said, oh, my child Abhimanyu, it's true that your mother in her old age has become insane. You know, the people, she becomes senile, right? When people get older, they become... It's true. It seems that with old age, your mother has become senile. She thought that you were Krishna. So then the Kundalata said, we should all go now and complain to Purnamasi Devi that this Jyotila is making false accusations against Krishna and against Radharani. So then they all went away. So then Krishna is up in the royal box and he's watching all this. So, oh, Narad Muni and these Gandharvas, they're giving me such bliss. You see? How did we begin this discussion? Yoga Maya makes the problem and Yoga Maya
solves the problem.
Yes, gives the remedy also. So it's Yoga Maya who has made this pastime that Krishna has to live very far away, but now she's giving some solace to Krishna's heart, and he's feeling the joy. He's feeling that he's right there in Vrindavan, and the rasa of Vrindavan is flowing, even though he's separated and far away from Radhika, and he's in Mathura. So then Brinda came there and said, oh, Lalita, be careful. Abhimanyu is coming back. And so then, though Abhimanyu had gone away, Abhimanyu was again coming back. But Brinda said, when I look at his face, somehow I am feeling joy. He moves so gracefully, and his form is so charming. And then Brinda, actually she knew, because she was the one who sent the parrots and had told Krishna, you dress up as Abhimanyu. So then, now Krishna has arrived and he's disguised as Abhimanyu. And he's thinking, oh, when will I see the beautiful crooked glances of Radhika again? Oh, Lalita, please take me there. So then Lalita bought Krishna and offered him to Radhika. Oh, Radhika, come here. So then Radhika saw Krishna dressed up as Abhimanyu. Something she had not seen before. If someone who is your Prayojan, who is very dear to you, accepts something which is not a Priya Padartha, something which is not dear to you, but because it is accepted by the person who is dear to you, then that also becomes dear to you. You see? Nirupadi karunena Sri Sachi Sandanena Tvai kapati shatopi tat priyanarpitost Iti kalamama yogya tam tamagrinam Nija nikata nivasam Ei govardhanatvam. Raghunath Das Goswami spoke on this principle. If someone is your Priyajan, but they accept that which is the apriya padartha, not dear to you, But what is not dear becomes dear to you because it was accepted by them. So in the same way, Raghunath Das Goswami, he prays to Giriraj Govardhan, "Oh Govardhan, you must accept me." Why? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave me to you. Mahaprabhu is very dear to you. I may not be dear to you, but Mahaprabhu is dear to you and he gave me to you. People think that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the Shalagram Shila to Raghunath Das Goswami, but actually Mahaprabhu gave Raghunath Das Goswami to Giriraj Govardhan. So Tvai Kapati Shatopi, Raghunath Das Goswami said, even though I'm Kapati, I'm very crooked. But anyway, Mahaprabhu gave me to you, so you must accept me. So by this principle, even what is not dear becomes dear if it's accepted by who is dear. So according to this principle, also we can give another example. Radharani herself said that Lord Shiva, Gauri or Parvati, she does not like poison, of course. But Lord Shiva accepted poison. He drank it and became Nilakanta. And his throat became blue. Just because Lord Shiva accepted poison, which I don't like, doesn't mean that I cannot accept Lord Shiva. Parvati had this mood. So Radharani said, so I am also like that. Even though I don't like the dress and the form of Abhimanyu, but still Krishna's accepted today. So I should be like Gauri and still accept him. So then, Radha and Krishna, they came together and they're just about to meet. And Krishna said, now at last, my great treasure has come into my hands. Lalita says, yes, as long as that wicked Jyotila doesn't show up again. Just at that moment, Jyotila came bursting onto the stage. She burst onto the stage and said very happily, oh my dear daughter, you are so fortunate, you are so intelligent that now finally you are having a private moment with my son. And then everyone realized, oh, she doesn't recognize. Just as she thought that Abhimanyu was Krishna, now she thinks that Krishna is Abhimanyu. So then Jyotila said, she apologized, oh my son, I'm so sorry for mistreating you. I made a mistake because I'm very old and I cannot see in the dusk as the sun is going down and the light is not so bright. In my old age, I cannot see very clearly. This is why I mistook you for Krishna. So please forgive me. So then Krishna, with so much love and affection, making the voice of Abhimanyu, he said, oh mother, don't worry that your eyes are not so good in your old age. I will give you one anjan. And Krishna took out one ointment. I'll give you one anjan, and this anjan will enable you to see everything perfectly. You'll see everything perfect. You'll have samagratama dristi. So here, the word tama has two meanings. Either it can be a noun and it means darkness, or tama can be an adjective, a suffix that you put on an adjective and it becomes a superlative. Like guya, guyatara, guyatama, guyatama. So it means a super secret, more secret and most secret. So Krishna's samagratama dristi, you'll have the most complete vision. But the other meaning of the words is samagratama, your vision will become completely black. And you will not see anything. So then Krishna very lovingly took the anjan and smeared it on the eyes of Jyotila and said, just sit down and your vision will be cured by this. And then Jyotila went away and she could not see a thing. She was complete. So then, but Krishna said, oh, Jyotila, your daughter-in-law, she does not want to come with me to go beneath the Chaitra tree on the bank of the Jamuna. And then Jyotila said, oh, my daughter Radhika, I am your Gurujan, I am your superior, you have to do what I say. So I am ordering you, you should go with your Kanta. Kanta means husband, but it also means lover. You should go with your Kanta and you should spend the night engaged in the puja under the Chaitra tree. So then Radhika thought, what is this destiny? I cannot believe it. That Krishna is so cunning. He came here disguised as Abhimanyu and he's tricked my mother-in-law into telling me to go and spend the whole night beneath the Chaitra tree on the bank of the Jamuna doing a puja to go Mangala Devi. So, because by this they can get more cows and the family will be more wealthy. So then Radharani, because Radharani is not so easy to catch for Krishna. Radharani is not going to say, okay, this is wonderful, now I'm with Krishna. No. In Vrindavan, there has to be teasing. If there's no teasing, then there's no love. Stotram yatra tatastatam prakatayas chittasya dati bratam ninda api pramadam prayatiti parihasa sriyam vibrati. Yoga Maya once said, this is the nature of love in Vrindavan. If someone is respectful to someone else, they show respect. Then that person thinks, what happened? You don't like me. Why are you being so neutral? Right? Because if you meet a stranger, excuse me, sir, what time is it? Or which way is it to to some place? So strangers, they speak very respectfully to each other. But when you have very close family members, then there's no need for formality. And if the love is intense, it becomes the opposite. And there's teasing and criticizing. So said Ninda api pramadam priyachati parihas asriyam bibrati. In Vrindavan, where there is love, instead of being respectful, you become disrespectful, and you tease and you criticize the person. And when the person feels that criticism, then they become so happy. This is a good joke. You see, where there's no love, if someone will criticize, then you become angry with them. But where there's love, then always criticism and jokes and teasing. So then, when Jyotila said, my dear daughter-in-law, you must go and spend the night on the bank of the Jamuna with your Kanta, with your lover. Then Radharani turned to Lalita and said, oh Lalita, please tell my mother-in-law that I'm not feeling very well. I'm not feeling very healthy today. Right? What is it? This is a needle for Krishna. To poke Krishna. So then Lalita said, my Saki Jyotila, Mother Bhagavati, my most respected Jyotila, my Saki is not feeling very well. She's under the weather today. She doesn't want to stay up all night doing austerities. So then Jyotila said, oh Kulaputri, my saintly daughter, I make a shapat. I am swearing an oath on my life that you must go and spend the night there on the bank of Jamuna with your Kanta. And then Radhika looked from the corner of the eye towards Krishna, because Krishna was for a moment, he thought he was successful, and then he realized, oh no. And then it was okay again. So then Radhika looks at him, gotcha. This is Vrindavan, very beautiful. So then Jyotila went away, and then Radha Krishna went onto the bank of the Jamuna, and then Jayo Jayo Radha Krishna Yugala Mila. Oh Jayo Jayo Radha Krishna Yugala Mila. Karoti Karoi Lalita Disaki Ga. Karoti Karoi Lalita Disaki Ga. Madana Mohana Rupa Tribanga Sundar. Madana Mohana Rupa Tribanga Sundar. Tambara Siki Krishna Chura Manohar. Tambara Siki Krishna Chura Manohar. Lalita Madhava Bhame Vrishabhanu Kanya. Lalita Madhava Bhame Vrishabhanu Kanya. Leela Vasana Gauri Rupe Gune Kanya. Leela Vasana Gauri Rupe Gune Kanya. Navida Alankar Kari Chalama. Navida Alankar Kari Chalama. Hari Mano Vimohana Badana Upa. Hari Mano Vimohana Badana Upa. Shakari Saki Ga Nana Rage Gai. Shakari Saki Ga Nana Rage Gai. Priya Nama Saki Jata Chamara Dulai. Priya Nama Saki Jata Chamara Dulai. Shri Radha Madhava Pada Sarasija Ashe. Shri Radha Madhava Pada Sarasija Ashe. Vakati Vinoda Saki Pare Sukhe Bhasi. Vakati Vinoda Saki Pare Sukhe Bhasi. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, I am sinking, I am floating again and again in the ocean of bliss at the feet of the Sakis as they serve Radha Krishna meeting in Vrindavan. So where are we? Vrindavan or Mathura? No one knows. This is the inconceivable power of Harikatha, the inconceivable power of Bhakti Rasa. In Srimad Bhagavatam it says, Satam prasangan mama virya samvido. In the association of pure devotees. Mama virya samvido. The Harikatha is flowing and it has virya, it has extreme potency. What potency? Sambit Shakti. The potency that awakens realization of the divine realm. Mama virya pavanti ritkana rasayana kata. And this is just a fact of life. If we don't stay in the association of pure devotees and hear again and again all the time, if rather we keep the company of worldly persons and become absorbed in their vibration, then the innermost region of the heart, it will not become imbued with the loveliness of the Leela. This is the thing. If you look in your heart, what atmosphere is there? What is there? We want to come to that point where at every moment of our life, the innermost region of the heart is imbued with the loveliness of Vrindavan Leela. Jamuna Devi, Giraj Govardhan, Dear Samira, Bangsi Bhatt, Seva Kunj, Nidhuvan, Shama Sundar, Radharama, and Kinkari Vatsala Radhika. Radhika, who is so kind and affectionate to her maidservants. So how will it happen? It cannot happen by any other way. Only sadhu sangha and continuous harikatha. Satam prasangham mama virya sanvido bhavanti ritkana rasana. Tadyokshad apa asla varga vatmani. And the path out of this material world opens up. Shraddha rati bhakti anukramasyati. One develops Shraddha, unbreakable faith. Rati, bhav comes. And then bhakti here means praying, Krishna praying. That is the goal of life. That is the goal of life. So check to see if you are going in that direction, because life is very, very short. And that is the Prayojan, Prem. This love is the Prayojan. It is the goal of life. Everything else is a distraction. It is a distraction. And at the last moment of your life, you'll never regret that you try to be always in sadhu sangha and serving Krishna, even at the expense of any type of difficulty or problem. But if you are in the state of distraction, then you will regret it so much. Hari, Hari, before janama hoy. So please, go online, book your tickets to Vrindavan. Bole Vrindavan Pyari Lal ki jai, Bole Saniwal ki jai, jai jai.